Oh my God. Oh my God. Finally, I'm back with another podcast, man. It seemed like it was taking forever. Every time I try to upload a podcast, something happened. That means this podcast gotta be fired. It must about to be fired because every time I try to upload it, something happened, but I'm back. So all my friends for just waiting patiently for me. I appreciate all of you guys. That's what's up. Let me tell you what the subject matter is. Let me tell you what this is going to be about. It's going to be a hot podcast. It's going to be hot. First, I'm going to talk about the Takashi69 snitching situation. I've been meaning to talk about that for the longest. But I was trying to ignore it, but I'm going to go ahead and just get out the way because it's really hot and it's really trendy. And I've been doing my research on it, so I'm definitely going to talk about that. Also, I'm going to be talking about parenting in Little League games. These parents, they be at these Little League games, how they be acting. I'm going to talk about that. Also, I'm going to talk about family and money. Family and money. When dealing with your family and money. I'm definitely going to be talking about that. I got to touch subject on that. Very important. Also, I'm going to be talking about children. Well, it's children, the parents that teach their children to brag about stuff. They teach them no kind of decorum and principles. I'm going to talk about them kind of parents that don't have, the parents don't have, they don't have their priorities straight. And they teach their kids the same thing, not to prioritize. I'm going to talk about that as well. Very important subject matter. So it's going to be hot. Again, thank you guys for sticking around with me because it took me forever to get this podcast out because every time I try to get it out, something happened every time. It was a blackout where I was at. So that killed the podcast the other night. Something was always happening. But this time, this is going to be a real podcast. So what do I usually say? Something I usually say. I say, KBLP LLC. Thank you all for walking with me in the road up. Mad VladBrad.
This is gonna feel real good, alright? Most dope. Everybody please put a thumb in the air. Hey.
1, 2, 3, 4. Some crazy ass kids coming like up on your door, so let 'em in, let 'em in, let 'em in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Some crazy ass kids coming like up on your door, so let 'em in, let 'em in, let 'em in.
I feel like $1,000,000, but my money don't really feel like I do. And from the ground I built my own damn buzz. People was amazed I was still in high school, but now I'm out. And money what I'm about, trying to get so much that I can't keep count. New kicks give me cushion like whoopee. Keep a smile like an eating pork cookie. Everything good, I'm white boy awesome. Up all night, Johnny Carson. I ain't got a Benz, no just a Honda, but try and get my money like an anaconda. Real long, cross the country, smoke joints in the whip, no cap can bust me. Driving to the stage, they applaud and scream. All them pretty little girls come and flock to me. Yeah, I rock the beat.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay. I'm back with another podcast, another Real Talk with VladBrad podcast. Wow, seemed like I've been gone forever. But I'm back. It's official. It's absolutely official. So, again, shout out to King Cannabis and everybody else, the sponsors. Shout out to you guys. You got to say that really fast. Yeah. Wow. It seemed like it's surreal because again, I've been trying to get this podcast out since forever. But again, I mean, it was crazy. It was like pandemonium trying to get this out. It was insane, but I got it out and, here it goes. So let's get right into it. Takashi69 in a federal court telling and snitching on everybody. I'm going to give you guys some facts. I'm going to give you guys my opinion on that. The reason why I'm talking about this, because, again, I didn't want to talk about it at first because I was trying to ride the wave. I was trying to weather the storm, if you will. So I wanted this to blow over because I really didn't want to talk about it. However, I've been, asked to talk about it. A few of my listeners told me to talk about it. So that's why I'm talking about this, it's something that had to be talked about, I guess. Whatever. So yeah, that's pretty much why I'm talking about it. So, here it goes. I'm gonna say, okay, first off, I did my research on it and say, okay, when he's in court and he's telling on his manager named Shoddy at the time. I mean, his name is Shoddy. That's his name, not at the time. Dude, what do you mean? Yeah, his name is Shoddy. So, he's telling on him. He's telling on the rest of the Treyway entourage, like Treyway, like them dudes. That's so annoying when they say that. But I mean, whatever, right? The thing about it is this. You guys just said, dude, why is it Takashi so important anyway? Like, why is he even a subject matter? Why does he even matter at all? I mean, why is he even significant whatsoever? Here's the thing, right? I'm just going to say it. Even though he's telling, some would say telling, some would say snitching. I mean, either way, it's the same thing. Whether you're telling, whether you're snitching, the meaning is the same, so, the thing about it is reason why he's important is because, or reason why, the subject matter is important is because based on my research I did on this kid, I mean, he's a Mexican kid and he came from poverty. And, not only that, the way first I'm going to say this in terms of music. I always talk about when I talk about artists that I like and I don't like, I talk about the music. I'm going to be completely honest about his music first before I say anything else. As far as his music, I wouldn't listen to it. Like it's not for me. Like I wouldn't listen to it. However, his music is not trash, based on the lyrics and the beat, the music, regardless. I mean, like, again, I wouldn't listen to it. However, but I'm being unbiased. I'm being unbiased in the situation. So, his music isn't trash. It's not, how can I say? It's not like, to me, it's not hot either. His music is not hot to me, but at the same time, it's not hot garbage either. It's like, to me, it's mediocre. So regardless how I feel about him personally, I'm definitely got to say, the music, the beats is pretty good. I mean, he put some pretty cool lyrics to it. I don't like the fact that he said an N-word. I mean, that repulses me. The fact that he's not black and he's using an N-word, that absolutely repulses me, but that don't take away the fact that his music is, not garbage, whatever. So, now here's why I say he's important. Get back to the subject matter. You said why he's important. Here's why. Because here's the thing, right? The fact I think Takashi69 is hands down, without a doubt, the greatest. And prove me wrong. We can argue the point. Whoever want to argue the point, comment section, argue that. Here's the thing. He is the greatest troll of all time. Like and here's the thing. He was smart enough to understand marketing. He was smart enough to understand the marketing in the music industry. And I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. He knew that in today's time, back in the early 80s, in the 90s, and I would even say early 2000s, your music actually had to be good in order to go platinum and to sell records. You had to actually make good music. Today, you don't have to make good music. It's all about going viral. It's all about getting a viral video, trolling and going viral. That's what it's about. So, Takashi69, he was really good at going viral. And he was really good at trolling. I mean, he mastered the art of trolling like no one before him and probably nobody after him. He mastered it. And he was what you call a guerrilla troll. And I'm gonna get to that in a second. Before I get to that, I'm gonna say this. The first troll ever, the very first troll ever who was ahead of his time, the first troll ever, this was back in the 90s. This guy. Now, this particular person I'm about to name, he was a troll. However, when he trolled, I mean, this dude had a good heart. He had a good heart, and he had at the same time, he understood that if you didn't troll, this is the first dude that he would have went viral before viral even existed. He went viral, and I'm talking about Tupac Shakur. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Tupac music. I thought he was awesome. I mean, I love his music. His music was heartfelt. However, he did a lot of trolling as well. You see what I mean? I mean, he had good reason to troll to a certain degree. I mean, he was shot and everything else. This is not about Tupac. It's about Takashi. I'm just saying Tupac was he laid the format for the trolling. He laid the format. And what Takashi69 did, he took that same format, he elevated it in terms of the trolling sense of it. And I'm going to tell you why. Again, I said Takashi, he's a Mexican kid, a young Mexican kid or whatever. And I'm saying that for a reason. And I'm gonna tell you why I'm saying it, because okay, I'm gonna say what I said about Takashi being a gorilla troll, and I'm gonna say why they have to do with him being Mexican. I'm gonna tell you exactly why they coincide with each other. Oh, excuse me. Something happened. Something was tripping. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, back to the subject matter. What was I saying? Oh crap, I forgot what I was saying just now. Oh, what was I saying? I said, what did I say? Oh, okay. Oh, I was saying it, it coincides, him being a gorilla troll, like I said, with him being a Mexican or whatever. And I'm going to tell you why. Here's the thing, right? First, I'm going to tell you what the exact trolling that Takashi did that made him go viral. And he was what you call a gorilla troll, and nobody before him was a gorilla troll, nor after him. And I'm gonna tell you why. His bravery, that crazy bravery, and he got that bravery from them immigrant Mexicans. They have that same kind of gorilla bravery. Just it's crazy. And I'm gonna name some situations what I experienced. But first, I'm gonna tell you what Takashi did that made him that made him like insane. That made him like the greatest troll ever. First off, he went to the most dangerous part in America, the most dangerous place in America, and trolled that place. And that place is was it Chicago, like what's it called, the Chirac district, where the Chirac goons be at. He trolled the people. He was beefing with this rapper named Chief Keef. He told him, I'm gonna go to your town, I'm gonna walk around in your town and everything. And he went to the most dangerous part. And when he went there, it was just him, a cameraman, and a driver. And he lied about the time he went, but the fact remains he still went. He was there like 3 or 4 in the morning. He lied and said he was there he said he was there like 10 p.m., but really he was there like at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. But the fact remains he was there, and them goons patrolled 24/7. You see what I mean? He caused an uproar because after he left, he posted it and everybody came looking for him. Like, where you at? I can't find you. Like he caused a massive uproar in that dangerous part of Chicago. Like goons was looking for him, trying to find him. They couldn't find him, but he legit was there though. You see what I mean? That was crazy. Like that. That was insane. Like that. This dude trolled that hard. Like he put his life on the line with his trolling. Like that's crazy. Like I would never do nothing like that. Me. And not only that, let me tell you what else he did. He came to the scariest part, one of the scariest parts of Los Angeles. He was beefing with this rapper named Slim 400, I believe at the time. And he told Slim 400 he's going to go to his territory, quote unquote, his hood or whatever. And he did that. Takashi69 went to the man's territory, his hood. And knowing he had this, knowing how dangerous it was over there. He was there. Like he was there, and he filmed it. That's crazy. Like, you could tell he was desperately hungry for attention because he understood, right? He understood that the art of trolling. He knew that if the only way to get your music heard and only way to sell records is to troll. He understood that. He understood that part of the complex part of the music, of the hip hop music industry, or hip hop, or what you call the rap music. Other music genres don't have to do that. With other music genres, like let's say you have country, you have metal, opera, alternative, all these other musics that you can listen to. You can, you can actually make good music and sell records. But when it comes to rap and hip hop, your music could be absolute trash and garbage. If your music is trash and music is garbage, like you could sell records. Basically, if you troll and go viral. You go viral, do something crazy, go viral. And Takashi69 understood that. He understood that. And that's why that's why his music was selling. That's why he was, going viral. That's why he was making money, because of his trolling. You see what I mean? So that's what makes him the fact he did that dangerous guerrilla trolling is what make him the greatest troll ever. Now, I'm going to give you guys my experience, and I'm going to tell you why him being Mexican has to do. He get that fact that he got the fact that Mexican blood that's in him. Like that immigrant Mexican blood. Like, I'm going to give you an example of what I mean when I talk about guerrilla bravery, like guerrilla brave, what you call, I'm trying to think of another word, like, courageous, like insanely courageous, like, what you call guerrilla courageous. I don't know what to, I can't even, I don't even know what to call it. I honestly don't know what to call it. Like, mind-numbingly courageous and mind-numbingly brave. Like, I'm gonna tell you what I mean by that. Them immigrant Mexicans have that. I'm gonna give you guys some examples. Cause you're like, dude, okay, give me some examples. Like, what do you mean? Like, tell me something. What happened? What do you make somebody, like, what could possibly do to make you assume that? I'm gonna tell you what I've experienced with immigrant Mexicans and everything. So you know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about guerrilla bravery. Or what you call it, like mind-numbing courageousness. I'm gonna give you a prime example. So I'm gonna give you at least 3 examples, at least. But I can name more, but I'm gonna give you at least 3 of them. Here's one. Some odd years ago, right? Could have been like 6-7 years ago. I worked in construction at the time. I used to do construction, and I was working out in Hollywood Hills. We were building a house out there, and so anyway, they were like, okay, use your imagination. I'm about to describe some stuff and use your imagination to understand and grasp what I'm trying to tell you, what I'm telling you. Just imagine what I'm saying, what I'm about to say. Imagine a sidewalk, right? A sidewalk. You walk down a sidewalk. You know how a sidewalk is it's narrow enough for 2 people to walk by each other, right? Like, say if you're like not overweight, if you're not like big, whatever, you can walk on a sidewalk and you can walk past somebody who coming in the same direction. You guys can pass each other up, coming towards each other. Like, a sidewalk is basically enough for 2 people, for 2 average sized people. Okay. Imagine a sidewalk cut in half where there's only enough room for 1 person, right? Just for one person. Imagine a sidewalk, a pathway, like imagine a pathway that's just narrow enough just for one person to walk. Imagine it being a dirt road. Like a dirt road with pebbles is already slippery. Now, if you're walking on a straightaway road on a straight path where it's even ground, and you're walking on a like dirt road with them little pebbles on it, it's already slippery enough as it is. Even if it's like on solid, what you call even ground. Imagine that a small pathway enough for 1 person at a decline. A decline is like downhill. A decline is downhill. An incline is uphill. Imagine it's at a decline going down, so it's even more slippery, right? It's only enough for one person to walk up and down. Now imagine that narrow walkway, right? Imagine that narrow walkway on both sides. Like on both sides, there's a 70-foot fall on both sides, 70 feet. Now it's between I would say between 60 and 70 feet. Right? It's like a drop it's a slippery pathway on a dirt road on a decline. And imagine if there's no guardrails to hold on to, like there's nothing to hold on to, nothing to catch or fall, none of that. You just gotta it's almost as if you're walking on a tightrope. You gotta maintain your own balance. Kind of like that, right? Imagine that. Now, when I was working in construction, we had to walk that pathway, right? And the walkway was at least about 30 feet, but like 30, 35 feet going on an incline and on a decline, back and forth. Now, we had these big, heavy 2x4s, like they were like maybe these between 15 and 20 feet 2x4s we had to carry back and forth on that pathway, right? Here's the thing. I wasn't doing it. You see what I mean? That's what I was not going to do, and not only me, but my coworkers as well didn't want to do it. They said, we're not doing it. Like, I mean, that's just what it is. So here's what at the time, my supervisor, I'm not even going to blast his company. I should blast his company, but I'm not even going to do that. But it wasn't his company. He was a foreman in the company. So anyway, well, this is what he did. He went for those of you on the West Coast. I mean, this anywhere, like no matter, I mean, I'm sure you have Home Depots all over the United States, all over the world, Home Depot, right? But I'm using the West Coast because, on the West Coast is right next door to Mexico. So that's why the immigrants immigrate to Mexico from. I'm still talking about Takashi69. Don't get me wrong. Just bear with me. Bear with me here. Just hang with me here. I'm still talking about him. I'm just saying the bravery. I'm talking about the bravery stuff that he had in him in terms of blood and the bravery stuff that he did is why he was able to troll the way he did. So back to the subject matter. The Home Depot, you have immigrants, illegal Mexicans, they'll hang out in front of the Home Depots looking for work. They look for work. And if you drive by the Home Depot, you see like at least 50 of them out there just hanging out looking for work, illegal immigrants, undocumented people, right? So my supervisor at the time, he went and he hired like maybe about 15, about 15 of them, about between 10 and 15 of them. And he had them do that work. You see what I mean? So they look when the Mexicans, when they looked down and see how steep that was, there was no guardrails. They see that narrow dirt walkway that I just described to you guys. Like they didn't hesitate. Like they just grabbed up the 2x4s, these heavy 2x4s, and they walked it and they showed no fear. Like it was like they didn't care. Like it was like, it's hard to describe. Like there was no hesitation. I mean, and they didn't try to balance themselves, and they didn't walk. They would casually walk back and forth. They wasn't walking slow. They wasn't trying to be careful. They were just walking like it was like they were walking a regular sidewalk. Like it was nothing to them. And I'm like, oh my God. Like one slip, it was over with. Like one slip gonna kill you. One slip, it's a wrap. You dead. And if you don't die, you're gonna wish you dead. You're gonna wish you were dead, because I mean that was a long drop, and there's nothing to hold on to, nothing to grab, none of that. So they was carrying these heavy 2x4s back and forth when they did the job. Not only did they do the job, right? At the time, I think minimum wage was like, I think it was like $10 or $11 at the time out here. They said, "Look, we'll do it for $8." Like they was willing to do it for $8 an hour. Like they didn't care. They're animals like that. Like they had guerrilla bravery. Like it was mind numbing courageousness is what it was. Like they didn't care. You see what I mean? So, that's one situation. That's one, right? I'm going to name another situation. So you guys have an idea what I'm talking about when I'm talking about mind-numbing bravery with these immigrant Mexicans. And again, Takashi had that blood in him. That's why he was able to go to this Chicago's and these dangerous places and didn't care. Like that's why. Okay, another situation. I was walking down the street. Let me see, where was I at? I believe I was in I think I was in East Los Angeles somewhere. I'm trying to remember exactly where I was at. Give me a second here. No, excuse me. I was in Gardena, California. There's a place called Gardena, California. It's not too far from where I live at. Maybe where I live, it's probably about maybe 20 miles. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, I was there. I can't remember exactly why I was. I think I was on some business. So as I was walking down the street or whatever, I seen a big Rottweiler. Like it was a big Rottweiler. And it was a pit bull. It was a blue nose pit. I know for a fact. And it was a Rottweiler. Now, both these dogs was big. You see what I mean? And when I seen both of them, right, they charged at me. But they were like about 40 feet. Like they were like 40 feet from me, between 40 and 50 feet. And they start charging. I hopped over a fence. I said, oh, hell no. Hopped over a fence. And when I hopped over a fence, I was safe behind that fence, So, I seen this Mexican dude walking. Like he didn't speak no English. You could tell he was an immigrant probably. Ain't no problem. He was. And I told him, I said, look, bro, I said, look, man, look at them dogs. They charging right at you. And he said, oh, no habla inglés. That's what he said. I'm like, look, bro, but look in front of you. So he looked in front of him and he seen the two dogs. He had more than enough time to hop the fence along with me. He had more than enough time. And the person whose yard it was, right, they seen I was behind the fence. Like, okay, when I hopped the fence, it was like a little Chihuahua and like some type of little poodle looking dog. The thing is, right, I'd rather take my chances with these little dogs than them big, massive bully breed dogs. You know what I mean? So it was what it was. But the owner was cool of the house. He seen I hop the fence. He seen why I hop the fence. He didn't trip. It was whatever, right? So, the dog is charging at this immigrant dude. And I'm like, bro, like, are you serious? Even the owner, like, bro, come on, get over the fence. We both trying to tell him, man, come on, you good. He'd stay where he was at. So the dogs lunged at him. But I mean, you know what I mean? They lunged at him, right? So when they lunged at him, he was speaking Spanish to the dogs, and like, they was trying to bite him. They was trying to tear him a new a-hole. Like they was trying to rip him apart. But the thing about it was, and he's talking to him. He said, cállate, perros, cállate, tranquilo. Like he's talking to him in Spanish, and I'm like, bro, they don't even speak Spanish. I mean, I don't know, whatever, right? So the thing is, they're biting at him. They didn't get a good, clean bite. You know what I mean? Because he was maneuvering. He kept like, I don't know. He was like using, say he was using soccer moves, like soccer. He was dodging them. Like, I don't know how to say it, like Toro or something, Toro, like he was like, they were bulls. He was dodging them and like they were biting his foot. Like he had on some shoes and they were biting at his foot, and he just kept dodging the dogs and like trying to make him relax, and they wouldn't relax. They kept trying to charge at him and bite him, and it got to the point to the dogs got tired. Like they got tired and they just went on about their business. But you know, the dogs wanted to save face, so they just barked at. They barked him down a little bit more to save face, and then they walked away from him. So they bit his foot a little bit, and he didn't get hurt. I mean, this dude walked away with like minor cuts and bruises. You see what I mean? And like I wish I could have recorded it, but I couldn't record it because my phone was like at 5% at the time. I was like, wow, like I was lost for words. You see what I mean? That's what I call mind-numbingly brave. Like that was. I'm gonna say it was stupid. I said it. It was stupid. It was. I mean, to me, it was stupid. That was crazy. You see what I mean? So that's another situation of what I'm talking about. Like they're gorilla brave. You know what I mean? So, I'm gonna give you guys one last scenario, and this is it. And then I'm gonna go on, continue with the rest of the subject matter. Here's another situation, right? And here's the craziest. So I just named 2 situations, but I got something even crazier than that. That they did but the immigrant Mexican did, something that's even insanely, ridiculously, mind-numbingly gorilla brave. Okay, here's another situation, right? I was at the time I had another job. I was working I worked in downtown Los Angeles at the time. And so at the time I had a friend named Aaron, and Aaron, he was like a dark dude. He's a dark black dude with dreadlocks. And Aaron liked to brag a lot. Like he would brag about he had a tap card. And the thing about it was a train, right? Like I'm sure in Los Angeles, New York, we have these trains. Like they're more prominent in New York, but we have them here in Los Angeles too. There's these trains called these lines. Like we have like a red line, a blue line, a purple line, and and I think a yellow line, like different lines, right? And depending on what line you take, it take you different places, but they're like underground. Like they're like these underground lines you walk under, and to travel. Now, me and my coworkers and myself, we would travel these lines to get, to our situations. Now we have vehicles. I had a vehicle. My coworkers had vehicles. However, the employment we were doing at the time, we couldn't drive to the destinations. We can park at our employment, but after we park, we have to take these lines. We have to take the red line and the purple line to get to our destination or whatever. Now we had this thing called tap cards. Now we have to reload the tap cards with money every so often. And what Aaron would do, Aaron had a green tap card. He had an infinite tap card. He never had to upload money on it. He could tap it on the buses, trains, cabs, where you name it. He could just tap the card and it'll take him anywhere for free. I mean, and he would brag about it. Like, and this is how he would talk. Oh yeah, yo, I got an infinite tap right here, yo. You guys, y'all wish y'all had something like this, but y'all don't, because I'm a real one. And, I'm like, only bosses carry these. Like he did all kind of bragging. I was like, oh, listen to this dude. Oh my God. Like I would get annoyed by it. Anyway, long story short on that part, he took his tap card out to show it to us one time. And when he took it out to show it to us, he dropped it. Now he dropped it on the train tracks. Now to describe the train tracks, where the train lines go, like the tracks are like maybe, 5 feet, between 4 and 5 feet deep, where the train runs at. And there's a sign that says high voltage. It says do not climb down here. Something to the effect, it says danger. Do not enter this area, because the area where the tracks is at, you can jump down there, and it's like basically you're not supposed to be down there. So he dropped his car down there, and the tracks where the train run, it's like again, the sign said high voltage electricity run through them trains. I mean, through to the tracks. So when he dropped his car, he said, "Oh man, I dropped my car." Like he was so hot. He was so pissed off. And I was like, "Oh, that's what you get." Oh my God. I was just like enamored by the fact that he dropped it. I was really happy. Anyway, I wanted that card. I was like, "Yeah, bro, it's a wrap." So they left, we all left, and I came back later. I'm like, "Man, I got to get that card somehow." But I said, I'm not about to go down there, right? Because the sign said high voltage. It's like a bunch of volts electricity, it said, or whatever. It basically said danger to kill you, is what it said. So anyway, again, don't judge me. I went down there and I seen the car. There it is right there, right? So I seen this white homeless dude, and I seen this white homeless dude, and I say, bro, I said, I give you $20 if you could get that car for me. Again, don't judge me. I wouldn't do that now, but I did that then. And here's what the white homeless dude told me. He said, check it out, dude. He said, yo, bro, I can't do it. I mean, look at the sign. It says high voltage. I'm not about to risk my life and kill myself. I mean, that's pretty much death, dude. I can't do it. But if you want, you can give me $5 to get myself something to eat. I said, okay, dude, here you go. Here's a $5. Get yourself something to eat, whatever. So I get him the $5 just to get himself something to eat. But yes, you guessed it. There was a Mexican dude there who barely spoke in English, who was not homeless. This dude, he was another immigrant. He wasn't homeless. And, he's the best English. It was a few Mexican dudes there. It was like two of them. One of them, what you could tell, wasn't an immigrant. The other one was. And the one that was immigrant, he was trying to speak to me in Spanish. I said, bro, I don't speak Spanish. I don't understand what you're saying. So the other dude translated. He said he's trying to tell you that he'll get it. He'll do it for $10 and he'll get that car. I said, what? I said, no, I can't ask him to do that, man. I can't ask him to do it. And, so I started walking away, and he translated again. He said, no, he'll do it for $10, man. And he really wanted to do it. You know, he want that money. I said, okay, if he can get it for me, I'll give him $10. So here's what happened. This dude climbed down there where them tracks was at. He climbed down there. I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. Right. So he climbed over the track. So when he reached, he didn't even touch the rail, like the train tracks. He didn't touch it, and it sparked, and he didn't even touch it. Like it did like a massive. I'm like, oh, I said, bro, no, man, it's not worth it. Come on, man, it's good. So I'm stressing now. I'm ripping my hair out. I'm like, oh, I hope this, just crazy, right? So he grabbed the card. He grabs it, and he comes back up. So here you go. I gave the dude like $40 here, bro. Here, take 40. You see what I mean? Like, that's just, I was like lost for words what this dude just did. I was lost for words, man. So, that's what I mean. Those are some prime examples when I talk about guerrilla bravery, like guerrilla, ridiculously mind-numbingly brave. Like, that's just, I don't even know what to call that. I mean, but that's just how they are. You see what I mean? And Takashi have that in him. That's why he went to them. He's not as, he don't have it in him as much as the immigrant Mexicans do. However, he have it in him. You see what I mean? Cause he's Mexican. He got the immigrant Mexican in him like that. You know, he gives 2 F's. Like, they don't care. Like, they're crazy. And that's what made Takashi, a troll. That's what made him like what you call the greatest troll ever, because of that. Now let's get to some facts. Now that I said all that about this case, the facts is, yeah, he told on some people, but here's the thing. Honestly, I don't blame him for telling. I really don't. Are you kidding me? Are you condoning snitching? Are you saying he should have told him? Are you kidding me, dude? Just hear me out. Hear me out. Based on my research of the case, they had no loyalty. None of them. Like, they were, like, all of them were informants anyway. Takashi was telling on the people who was going to tell on him. They were all telling on each other, you know, and there was dissension in the ranks. For one, they got recorded conversation of them admitting to extorting Takashi69. They were extorting him for money, you know. They were jealous of the relationship he had with the dude Shotty. You know, they were gossiping about Shotty, calling Shotty a roach. And then only that, this rapper Jim Jones and some dude named Mel Matrix, they were talking about, you know, killing Takashi69. They had a conversation about that on the phone. So they didn't mean him no well anyway. Like, here's the thing. If you have an empire, if there's no structure in your empire gonna crumble. Your empire gonna crumble if there's no structure. You know, the thing is, there was no structure in that empire, you know, so, the crazy thing about it, I hate to admit it, even though Takashi was the one snitching and telling on people, he was the realest one of the bunch, because the guy who was his manager, the main one he was telling on, the Shotty dude, his name was Shotty. Takashi was more loyal to him than the other guys who were with him. You see what I mean? Like, than his crew. Takashi was more loyal to this man than the other guys were. See what I mean? Because they were all backstabbing each other. And then the shouty dude, for one thing, he was sleeping with Takashi69 baby's mom behind his back. So, so basically Takashi got revenge by telling on these guys. You see what I mean? Like if Takashi didn't tell on them, they were going to tell on him. Like it was going to crumble. What you call it? The empire was going to crumble because there's no structure. If there's no loyalty and there's no structure, your empire going to crumble. Not only that, I'm going to tell you this too. And for those of you listening to this, I want you to understand what I'm about to say this. I'm about to give you guys some words of wisdom real quick. And this is something I came up with. And before I forget it, here it goes. Right, here it goes. Everybody claimed to be real. You see what I mean? Everybody claimed to be real. They claim to be real ones for the urban terminology that people say in a black community, whatever, or in an urban community for that matter. They'll say, I'm a real one. I'm a real one. They claim to be real ones. Here's the thing though. Everybody claimed to be a real one until something real happens. Straight like that. You claim to be a real one until something real happens. Let's see how real you are when something real happens. You see what I mean? Straight like that. So that's just what it is. So, and not only that, I'm gonna say a few more things about this. Takashi was smart. He was smart. Like he was definitely in terms of, I think as smart as he was, he let the fame cloud his judgment. He let the fame and the notoriety and the trolling he was doing, it clouded the little bit of intelligence that he had. It clouded it. And that's why he's in the position that he's in. Now, here's the thing. The people he telling a bunch of black people. This is what he's doing. So he's good. He good. He can tell on black people he good. He don't have to worry about nothing retaliation when he get out. He's good. And I'm going to tell you why I say that. First off, if he's in there, like, let's say, I'm going to just break it down for you guys. I'm going to break it down for you really fast. Let's say he was snitching on a bunch of white people, right? Let's say it was a bunch of white people he was snitching on. If he was snitching on a bunch of white people, he's good anyway. Nothing going to happen. They're going to just probably like, oh, dude told him, oh my God, he's a snitch. I can't believe this. Like they're going to just say that. And that's going to be that. Like they're not going to say nothing to him. Then nothing's going to be, it's going to be water under the bridge. Like, oh, well, he snitched on me. Oh, well, screw it. Oh, well, like that's how white people take it. Right. Here's how black people take it. He snitched on a bunch of black people. Right. He's going to get talked about. He's going to get drugged. His name going to be drugged in the mud. They're going to say, oh, man, he foul. He a snitch, man. He this, he that. They're going to talk all kind of trash about him. He going to get all kind of memes made up. They're going to meme him. All kind of memes going to come up all over the internet. His name going to get slandered, but still nothing's going to happen to him. Now, and this is the thing. Let's say if it was Mexicans he snitched on. Let's say if it was a bunch of Mexicans that he was snitched on. If he did, he knew not to do that, because if he did, it's over with. Like they don't play that. Like, and that's just what it is. Like, regardless what part of, like say he wouldn't be able to, he for sure have to stay. He'll be safer in jail than be on the streets, because he gonna get touched. Like the Mexicans, they play no games when it comes to snitching and telling. They're animals like that. You see what I mean? So he good. Takashi good. He know, okay, there's gonna be no consequence for him snitching on a bunch of black people. He know he good. You snitch on white people, you good. You snitch on black people, you're going to get talked about. Your name going to get drugged through the mud, but you still good. You snitch on Mexicans, it's all bad for you. You see what I mean? Like you're not about to live. As soon as you touch down, you'd be lucky if you live 24 hours. Like, that's just how they play. Even in jail, they don't play that. Like, you know what I mean? It is what it is. So that's all I'm going to say about that. The Takashi69 situation, him snitching on people or whatever. That's pretty much, my take on that. And yeah, if anything else comes up, maybe I'll do another podcast. Maybe I won't. I don't know. But I don't think he's going to do more than 2 years. I'm going to say that this is the last thing. He's not going to do more than 2 years for it. And that's that. Now, next subject matter I'm going to talk about. I said I was going to talk about parenting Little League games. I'm going to talk about that. But I'm going to switch up real quick to the other subject matter I'm going to talk about. Like I said, I'm going to talk about family and money. I think I should talk about this first before I talk about parenting Little League games. I'm going to talk about this first, and I'm going to tell what I mean by family and money, right? And by family and money, the situations I'm about to talk about, it happens in, I say, predominantly minority families. It happens in white families too, but very, very rare. Very rare. mostly minority families. And I'm going to tell you what I mean. When it comes to family and money, right? First off, I'm going to say this. Before I even talk about the subject matter, I'm going to say, real talking VladBrad, because I haven't said it the whole time. Real talking VladBrad. A hot episode for you guys. Anyway, now I said that, I'm going to say this. There's not enough money in the world. Like, money and financial gain is not worth losing your family over. It's not worth you losing your family over money and financial gain. It's sad. I wish everybody had that mindset, but people don't. People will sacrifice their family when it comes to the relationships with their family just for their own financial gain and their own success and fortune. You have a lot of people like that, especially in the urban community, in black families, especially. You know what? Mexicans are not like that either. They're not like that. You see what I mean? Because they stick together. Like you see like 20 of them living in the same house. You see what I mean? And they help each other on the come up. They hire each other on jobs, all that. So Mexicans don't count in this. I'm completely excluding them from this. This is basically like black people do this, right? Here's what they do. When it comes to money, like they'll borrow money from you, right? Like you'll have your family. They'll borrow massive amounts of money from you and will not pay you back unless you remind them. And not only that, let's say you, like they'll give you they'll hassle you about paying you back. Not only that, right? Here's another thing they'll do. Let's say if you you're doing business with them, let's say you have a business and you hire your family members. I'm talking about black families, right? A lot of times, like your family will do you dirty before anybody else will. You see what I mean? Like they'll do you dirty. And now you're at odds with your family because you started a business with them. And I'm going to give you a prime example. I'm going to give let's say a driving business, right? I'm thinking of a random business right now. Let's say, you have a business and you guys are drivers, right? Right. And let's say, you guys drive around celebrities, and let's say you hire a family member of yours and you tell your family member, okay, we got to pick up so-and-so at such and such a time and you're getting paid such and such amount. Your family members they're going to drag their feet. They're going to be late and then they're going to expect you to give them full pay. You see what I mean? Like that's how it is with black families and everything. And, not only that, right? And then let's say another thing they'll do, let's say you have, when it comes to credit, and a lot of times with black families, credit is something that's like, something to like, be cherished because a lot of times they don't have good credit. Now, let's say, what somebody in your family will do, they'll ask you, hey, you mind, can I get a car in your name? Or can I get this in your name? Like they come to ask you to get something in your name, because they can't get it in their own name. And a lot of times, right, the person who's a family member, like they know for a fact that they're going to mess your name up and they don't care, right? They'll do that. And like maybe they had intentions to pay from the beginning, but here's the thing. If it could be brother to brother, sister to sister, father to daughter, mother to daughter, mother to son, whatever the case, cousins, whatever you related to, whatever the relationship is with the family, right? They'll come and ask you that. Like they'll ask you to borrow something, a massive amounts of money, or they'll get something in your name and ask you. And you'll put your name on a line for them, right? You put your name out on a line for them and they'll ruin your credit. And now you're angry at them. Now you guys not talking, y'all not speaking because that person just ruined your credit in your family. So a lot of times in black families, them kind of grudges are like, they're like, that's what happens in terms of like, let's say, that's what causes rifts and that's what causes tension in like black families a lot of times when it comes to the grudging and everything, because it usually a lot of times it happens over something financial most of the time, not all the time, but mostly it's something financial. Or when it comes to someone's credit or something to do with money, that's what I'm talking about, family and money. I should have said black family and money. But again, this happens to other families too. I'm sure other races, but predominantly black families. Let me give you another example, right? A lot of times, in families like that, let's say, especially a family, it sucks with black families that let's say, you have siblings. Or whatever the case may be, like let's say they don't want you to be in a better position financially than they are. I'm going to give a random example. Let's say I'm going to name some random names of people that I don't know. I'm just going to make up some names. Let's say Suzanne, right? Let's say Suzanne and let's say Tamika, right? Let's say Suzanne and Tamika are sisters. Let's say, you know, Suzanne, she's the breadwinner. Suzanne, she has money. Let's say Suzanne has a semi decent career. She has a house and everything. And let's say Tamika don't have a house. Let's say Tamika live impoverished. And let's say Tamika, you know, she's struggling to pay her bills or whatever. And she's struggling to pay rent and everything else. Suzanne, even though let's say Suzanne can help Sandy somehow, but she don't want to help her. Let's say she can give Suzanne the utensil to help her, but she don't want to. Let's say Suzanne knows something that Tamika's good at, but she's not going to give Tamika the information to obtain in order for her to be successful, because she don't want her to pass her up financially. She don't want her to be more financially successful than she is. So you have families that are like that. You know, like say for example, you know. Let me give you a prime example. Okay. I'm not going to name a situation. Here's an actual situation that happened, right? And this is prominent in black families. And I'm not going to name names, but I mean, here's a situation. I know somebody that fell, right? Somebody was in what you call a Walmart. Well, no, was it a Walmart? No, excuse me. It was a store, like it was a supermarket, a major supermarket store, and they fell. They fell in a supermarket, and you know, and there were two sisters, right? And one of the sisters, instead of like taking pictures, and instead of like, you know, calling the ambulance did get called. Don't get me wrong, but the sister didn't do it. Like the sister didn't want to help her other sister. She tried to sabotage it. Like let's say, she got the manager's number, and she got the manager's number for her sister who fell. And the manager said, well, give me your sister's number because she's the one who failed. So let me have her phone number so maybe I can talk and we can settle it for her. And she said, okay, yeah, I'll give you her number. Instead of giving her number, instead of giving her sister number, the one who failed, she gave her own personal number. She gave her number instead. And so when they called the number up, they say, is this so-and-so on the phone? They said, no, this is the sister. Wait, are you not the one that failed? No, this is the one that you talked to. Or give us your sister number, the one who failed, because we're trying to reach a settlement. Maybe we can help her, you know. And this is what she did. She said, oh, you know what? She said, you know what? I don't know her number by heart. I don't remember her number offhand, but she had her number in her phone. You see what I mean? So, but she didn't want to give up the number because she knew if she gave the number to the manager of the major supermarket, she's going to either probably get a couple $100,000 or whatever. She's going to get paid massively, but she don't want her sister to get this money. So she tried to sabotage it. You see what I mean? Because she wants to be the breadwinner. She don't want her sister to be more financially stable than she is. So you have people, you know, it's prominent in black families and that's what they do. I have a friend of mine too, right? I have a friend of mine. Shout out to my friend. You know, she's awesome. And she told me another scenario, another situation to where she was telling me that, you know, her mom, right? She was telling me about her mom fell in a Walmart. That's the story I meant to tell you. Yeah. She said her mom fell in a Walmart, right? And we all know Walmart is a major, corporation, and they're crooked. They throw away food. Like Walmart, they have food, unopened canned goods and bread, peanut butter and jelly, butter, ham, you name it, all kind of fresh food that they throw away because they don't want to give it to the public. They don't want to give it to the homeless. They'd rather throw it away than and I've seen videos of it. You can go look it up on YouTube. Anyway, her mother fell, right? Her mother fell in a Walmart. Now, when her mother fell in that Walmart, instead, her mother was with her grandmother. The grandmother and the brother, like her mother's with her brother and her mother. You see what I mean? So it was basically, my friend's mother's brother and my friend's mother's mother. Right. So, when she fell in a Walmart, right. When she fell, they didn't call no ambulance. They didn't take no pictures. You see what I mean? Like she, you know, the people, the Walmart came and talked to her and everything else. And I guess they just like they didn't pursue any kind of legal action whatsoever, you know, and the lady who fell, she was an older lady that fell. But see, here's the thing, like the mom who with the grandmother, she's been around the block a few times, and the grandmother knew that her daughter failed. She don't want to, she knew what to do to help her daughter out. Like she could have took pictures and the grandmother, like the grandmother failed, did some herself and got money for herself when she failed. When her grandmother failed in another incident, another situation, she took pictures, called ambulance, did everything for herself. You see what I mean? And made sure she got paid. But when her daughter failed, she didn't help her daughter out. You see what I mean? Like, I'm just using that, and that's just how it is. Like in black families, a lot of times, like they have a tendency to not want to help each other out financially, you know, in terms of when it comes to situations like that. Like they have when they have a tendency, what I'm trying to say, okay, they have a tendency to, like, you know, not want to see the success of their brother or sister is what I'm trying to tell you. That's what I'm trying to say. You know, there's envy, there's jealousy, you know, and that's just what it is, you know, and then a lot of times black people complain about rights and everything else and you know, hating on Trump and everything else and just talk. But yet, you know who hate black people more than anybody is other black people. And I hate to say it. And it's just what it is, you know, so I'm talking about family and money, really. So that's what it comes down to when it comes to family and money. You know, it's like the crab in the barrel theory. When it comes to jobs, black people don't want to hire each other. You know, they quick to tear each other down when it comes to like employment and everything else, instead of trying to stick together. Like, again, Mexicans stick together, white people stick together, Asians stick together, everybody stick together. But when it comes to black people, they don't stick together. And I noticed that with them, you know, and it's sad to say, you know, but especially when it comes to family and money, borrowing money, like they'll do each other dirty and do each other wrong when it comes to borrowing money, and they'll get credit and stuff in each other's name and not pay it to sabotage each other's credit just to see each other down. And then they complain about the next person holding them down. You know, so yeah, I thought I'd share that with you. And that's definitely an important subject matter that I laid on my heart to have to talk about. So yeah, with that being said, I'm sure there's way more I can say about it. But that's pretty much it I'm going to say about that. And now with that being said, I'm going to skip to the next subject matter, which goes hand in hand with the family and money, with the minority kids and bragging. And I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. I was going to talk about parenting and little league games. Maybe I'll squeeze that in. I don't know. We'll see. But let me get this. Let me talk about this. Minorities and kids bragging. I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. Okay. And this is something I had experience with. And this is something that I've seen played out. I've seen it played out tragically. And that's why I'm talking about this, because this is something that I've witnessed from the beginning to bloodshed. And this is something that I have to definitely talk about. Minority kids and bragging, right? Now, I'm going to tell you, like, now, again, this is with black people. However, Hispanics do it too, you know, but the Hispanics do it because they're trying to emulate the black culture. You have a lot of other cultures who try to emulate black culture. And in order to emulate it, they feel as though they emulate what they feel is cool. And they also emulate the negative aspects of it to a certain degree. Now, I'm going to tell you this, but what I mean by minority kids and bragging. First of all, the parents, right? They don't have their priorities together. And I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. Like, they'll buy their kids, all this stuff, right? Like, they'll buy them all kind of new clothing and like stuff that they can't afford. You know, like, there's nothing wrong with buying your kids clothes. There's nothing wrong with that, getting them stuff that they need. But they get them excessive stuff to the point where the kids brag about it, right? Let's say, and I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. Like, a lot of times, it'd be a single mom, like it'd be a thought. Let's say a female who's a thought, or like, let's say I'm trying to think of a ratchet thought female, right? She'll have a kid, and the kid gets spoiled by the grandparents. Like, maybe that'd be the only grandkid they'll have a lot of times, you know, so they'll spoil it and they'll buy the kid a bunch of stuff. And like, let's say they might not have the best genetics, right? Let's say the kid, or let's say they may not be the most handsomest kid, the most good looking kid. So they know they're not handsome. They know they're not handsome or good. And by kid, I'm talking about, it could be like from the age of, let's say from 11, sometimes it's younger than 11. I'm talking about between the age of 11 to like, let's say 17. I'm talking about between that age era, right? A lot of times. And here's what they'll do. Sometimes they get younger. They know they're not the best looking. They know that they don't have the best genetics. So in order to fall back on, they need something to feel good about themselves about. And this is what they'll do. They'll brag about something. Let's say somebody else have something new, right? Let's say, I'm going to name somebody. Let's say Marquise and let's say Lee Dante. Let's say two black boys, right? Marquise, Lee Dante. Let's say Marquise got some Jordans. Let's say Marquise got some Jordans, and he's, you know, he always got the new J's, right? Marquise got Jordans. Lee Dante will say, "Oh man, that's nothing, man. I mean, what you got? That's trash. My Jordans I got gonna be way better than yours. And only that, I got the new Xbox. I got the new Xbox 10, and I got the new PlayStation 14, 15, 16, and I got all these games, and I got that new Prada too. I got the new Prada, and I got that Gucci. You should see everything. I'm killing the game right now. I got all, like, they over brag about stuff, right? And the thing about it is this, the thing is, their parents didn't teach them. That's not the right way to be. Their parents didn't teach them morals. Their parents didn't teach them principles. Their parents didn't teach them to appreciate stuff. Now, and the parents that's buying them the stuff can't afford to buy it themselves, more than likely anyway. You see what I mean? And this is a personal experience. I'm not going to say names, but you know, screw it, I'm going to say names. Basically, I have my cousin James, who's in jail right now. I'm talking about him. He was like that. He was one of them. You see what I mean? But it wasn't just him. I mean, you know, but he's the main one that I've known. But the other ones that do that, like me, like myself, I would get new stuff every so often, but I would never brag about it. You see what I mean? I was grateful for what I got, because I was taught principles and morals. You see what I mean? So anyway, you know, they'll put somebody else down in order to make themselves feel better. You see, like, say, and they'll brag about getting whatever or receiving something, like their parents got them or they were spoiled or whatever. Now, and that's what they make them feel good about themselves. Again, they're not the best looking kids. They don't have the best genetics. You know, like, let's say they don't have the best hair, and I'm go ahead and say that they don't have the best hair and everything. But in order to make them feel good about themselves, they use materialistic items and materialistic clothing and, you know, materialistic things in order to make themselves feel good. What they lack in physical appearance, they make this up in materialistic things, in materialistic let's say like shoes and clothing and etc. and games and etc. what so have you, materialistic items. What they lack in beauty and what they lack in handsomeness, they make up in material items, and they make them feel good about themselves. You know, like, and they take pride in that. Like say, for example, like, okay, say, I'm trying to think of a better way to put this. Better yet, here it goes. Right, here it goes. So James, my cousin James, he's this black kid, you know, on my mom's side, and he's in jail now. He will brag about stuff, and he'll put somebody else down in order to make himself feel good, because his mom spoiled him. Like, his mom will spoil him so much, you know, like Christmas, he had everything in the world, and he'll tell everybody else about it. Oh, that's why I got the new Prada. I got a new everything I got is Gucci. Everything I just got brand new Gucci. I just got brand new and I'm already getting a new Xbox. I'm getting that so and such. I'm getting that for my birthday, and I'm getting this such and such and such. Like that, he'll over brag. But black kids are like that. You have, you know, again, not all black kids, but you have black kids like that because of the parents that they don't teach them principles. They don't teach them morals. They don't teach them how to be good people. And they pass this down to generation and generation. It goes down. This stupid, this idiotic mentality passes down. You see what I mean? But here's the thing. There's always somebody who has more. You see what I mean? And that's why you don't want to put yourself in that position to brag about something, because if you brag, there's always somebody who has more. And when somebody else that comes along that has more, it's going to make you feel that stupid and that insignificant. Because all the bragging you just did, everything you got, somebody else going to have more. You see what I mean? And I'm going to give a prime example, right? Let's say, you know, again, with James, you know, like, you know, he was bragging about something and somebody else had more than what he had. Everything he said he was going to get for Christmas and get for his birthday, somebody had it now, and they had the advanced versions of it. They had it right then and there, and they bragged more about it. So he, you know, he was envious of it. Like, and here's the thing, success breeds hate. It breeds hate. And when you brag about stuff, and when you come across somebody who has more, you're going to develop an envy of them. You're going to get jealous. You're going to get super envious to the point you're going to want to do something to them. Like, because you're just so envious. You're mad. You're a hater. You're a real hater. You know what I mean? Because you want to be the one to be able to brag. And that's why it's not good to brag. That's why it's not good. That's why it's always good to be humble. Here's the thing. If you didn't brag to begin with, you don't have nothing to worry about. Like, so if somebody talk about what they have and, you didn't say nothing to begin with to even, to feel insignificant about. So that's why it's not good to brag about something, because there's always somebody who has more. You see what I mean? Now, James ended up in jail because he wanted to get more because somebody else bragged, and they bragged about having more because he bragged. So they bragged back at him and they showed what they had. And so he tried to, he couldn't get enough to brag about. So he went out. Now he's in jail doing a bunch of years. He's in prison doing a bunch of years because of it. You see what I mean? But I've seen other situations, not James, but I've seen other situations where somebody bragged, other black kids, to where, they bragged or whatever, and somebody else had more, and they ended up being bloodshed. They try to rob somebody, and they try to rob them, and they end up getting killed in the process because, and it all started from bragging. They were so jealous of what the next person had because they didn't have what that person had. And they was the one who started off with the bragging. They started off with the bragging, and now they couldn't, they feel insignificant. And a lot of times, here's another situation that may happen. A lot of times, if you brag, they make people want to rob you. You said, you end up getting robbed, and you may not even have everything that you had. You may bragged about something, lied and bragged. And when the person come to rob you, come to find out you didn't have what you said you had. Now they're angry because you didn't have what you said you had. And now they're going to kill you. You see what I mean? Now they're going to mangle you or beat you up real bad, kill you, do something hard, bad to you. You see what I mean? That's why it's not good to brag. That's why it's good to be humble. And it's always good to have what you call a respectable, meek, down to earth mentality. You see what I mean? That's why it's not good to brag about stuff. It's a horrible habit. And it's something that's, again, the black community, not all black kids, but you have a good majority of them that are like that. Oh, I got the new J's. I got the new Jordan 1s. I got the new Xbox 20. I got the new, and not only, I'm just saying, I'm exaggerating when I say Xbox 20. I already got that. I'm getting the new, I'm getting jewelry, all my jewels. I'm getting the new chain. I'm getting the new this, the new Prada. I'm getting a new Gucci. You ain't got this. They don't even get it. They don't have these. These right here. These exclusives right here. That exclusives. Bragging about stuff, over bragging. You setting yourself up for failure because with whatever you think you got, somebody else have more. Know that. You see what I mean? So, done with that subject matter. Last thing, I guess I'll squeeze this in. I'm gonna squeeze it in. Should I? I already been holding you guys up long enough. It's already been long enough. I was going to talk about parenting in Little League games because I went to a game. Yeah, I'm going to say it really fast. Get this out the way. Get it out the way really fast. Parenting in Little League games. A few years ago, I went to a Little League game, right? Went to a Little League game, and you had these kids playing, they was playing what you call football. It's a football game, right? A football game. And what made me bring this up because I seen it on the news like about a few weeks back. I seen something else on the news. Now, with these Little League games, right? You have the despicable dirtbag these scumbag parents, these scumbag dirtbag parents who don't know how to be parents. And I'm gonna tell you what I mean by that. Now, when you have these Little League games, understand they're children. They're all children, right? And it's fine to cheer your children on. It's fine. If you have children, you want to cheer them on, that's fine. It's good to encourage your children. However, you have these dirtbag parents who want to trash talk the opposite team and these kids. And the thing about it is their children, it's supposed to be fun. Now, fights break out. Fights break out because these parents had no bit. Parenting, having children is not for everybody, but people have them anyway. I strongly believe to have children, have kids, you have to be mature to a certain degree. You have to be assure yourself. You have to have some knowledge. You have to be patient, understanding, and you have to have a certain maturity. I'm gonna say it again, you have to have a certain wisdom and maturity. But people having children and they don't have none of that. They don't have none of these qualities I just named. Now, again, I seen fights break out because parents are teasing other kids and of the opposite team and they're going at it. I've seen a situation to where a team lost and the kids already feeling bad about losing. They lost the game, but they brung everything they had. You got the parents and opposite team. That's why you guys lost. And they going crazy teasing these kids. You see what I mean? You got. I want to keep this podcast as clean as possible, but I got some stuff to say to you guys. I wish I can kick all you guys in the mouth. That's what I wish I can do. I want to kick you guys as hard as I can because it's wrong. These are kids. You see what I mean? You don't tease them for losing. You see what I mean? But yeah, I have a lot more I can say about that. A whole lot more. I'm sure I can, but I'm going to end it with this because I've been talking too long already. So with that being said, we're out of time. We're out of time. And thank you guys for rocking with me. Another podcast in the books.
It's gonna feel real good, alright? Most done.
Another podcast in the books. My YouTube, The Word of VladBrad. Check me out right here on KBLPLOC. The podcast. Check out the other podcasters too. There are really awesome podcasts. Check me out. Check me out on Instagram at VladBrad_world_1. And with that being said, I am gone.
People was amazed I was still in high school, but now I'm out. And money what I'm about. Trying to get so much that I can't keep count. New kicks give me cushion like whoopee. Keep a smile like an eating pork cookie. Everything good.